The Rocky Mountains, one of the most beautiful places in the world, home to bustling cities, millions of people, and beautiful, diverse forests. People travel here from far and wide to practice skiing, hiking, and mountain biking. All of these industries stimulate the economy with millions of dollars generated through tourism alone. However, the forests are in danger. Researchers are scrambling to discover what is destroying the forests at an alarming rate.
My name is Peter Heller, and I was born and raised here in Colorado.
I was born and raised here. I'm 21 years old now.
My name is Rachel, and I'm from Colorado.
And I grew up an avid skier. I'd go up to the mountains maybe 10 to 20 times a year. And I can definitely notice that over the last 15-ish years, going up I-70 every time, there's just more and more dead trees.
Growing up in Colorado is interesting because getting to see the effect that pine beetle has had on the Colorado Rockies is really powerful to see.
You can get into a Cessna in Vancouver and fly 100 miles over dead forest.
It's really sad to see it unfold and see all the pine trees dying throughout my lifetime.
But I remember being like 6 or 7 years old and going up the I-70 corridor and looking on either side and just seeing the luscious trees. And now it's really disheartening to go up every year and seeing the trees kind of be more and more dead each year.
Colorado. I've just definitely noticed a very sad realization of loss of trees here in Colorado, and the forests are becoming much less dense.
Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder have diligently sought an answer for how and why the pine forests are dying.
My name is Jeff Mitten, and right now I'm an emeritus professor, meaning retired, at the University of Colorado. I spent 44 years in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology.
The simple answer is that the pine trees are being preyed upon by a couple different species of tiny beetles. However, a better question is, how has the problem become so bad recently?
This last epidemic, as far as we can measure, was tenfold times bigger and hotter than any previous bark beetle epidemic that we have witnessed. Mountain pine beetles have been here for a very, very long time. The oldest fossils that can be found locally go back 35 million years in Boulder County. It's not a new invader, it's something that has always been there.
The beetles are not an exotic invasive species, so there must be another explanation for why they've become so dominant.
Now, someone estimated that 5 billion trees were lost just in Colorado. The question is, why was this one so big?
The pine beetle has taken over more and more of the forest each time we see it.
It turns out that warming temperatures in the Rockies are why these beetles have been able to thrive lately.
The springtime temperatures over the last 30 years that are conducive to development of a beetle, though that temperature range has increased by 56%.
Historically, the beetles have only been able to reproduce once a year, but with warming temperatures, they've increased that number to twice a year.
Now, there's one group coming out in May, June, and there's another one that comes out in August. The beetles are flying over a greater time period, and they're flying over a greater range of elevations. They've climbed 2,000 feet in the mountains here. That means within a year, the number of beetles that are possible in the forest has gone up by 60-fold, an exponential rate. More beetles, more trees get attacked.
And I think that where you really are at a critical decision point about A, acknowledging the problem, and B, doing something about it to preserve Colorado's forests without necessarily disrupting the natural order of things.
I told the Forest Service that, and they said no, they don't come out until August.
So the question remains, what can we do to reverse this issue? For starters, daily lifestyle changes go a very long way for mitigating climate change. Drive your car less, consume less, eat less meat. There are a number of ways in which we can all help out. Additionally, scientists have found that we can evaluate which pine trees are more resistant to the beetles, and we can encourage the reproduction of these specific trees. The clear fact, however, is that we need to act now before all the Rocky Mountain forests are lost.